Yo, what's up? Welcome to the start of something new that I'm doing. It's called So Totally Interesting, dude, because I talk about things that are so totally interesting, dude. So, I guess it's a podcast. I don't really know. Not really sure what to call it. But I'm sorry, my voice is dying today, and I apologize profusely for the fact that you're going to hear me clearing my throat about 77 times throughout this podcast, I guess. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna call it a podcast for ease. But you're gonna have to listen to me clear my throat because apparently, drinking water makes me need to clear my throat when it should do the exact opposite. That's fun, isn't it? Anyway, I have already tried recording this, kind of went off the rails, so now I'm trying again. Let's hope that this one goes better. You know? Because the last one, I was just talking about random shit which wasn't relevant and was kind of just like releasing information I don't want to release, you know? I mean, there's a lot of stuff I will say, you know? I'll say that I fucking love Carly Rae Jepsen, dude. Do you ever listen to like any of her songs other than Call Me Maybe? Certified fucking bangers, my guy. Um, but like, listen, Carly Rae Jepsen didn't invoke the concept. Didn't invoke, yep, that's what I meant. What I meant to say was Carly Rae Jepsen didn't invent the concept of having emotions in her album Emotion just for mine to be all sad emotions, okay? Why would you let this happen to me, Carly Rae Jepsen? I feel personally attacked. So like, on the very much off chance, which is like almost zero chance, Carly Rae Jepsen hears this, the fuck? Why would you do such a thing to me? Why would you bully me in such a way that I am sad when you invented emotions with your album Emotion? I'm gonna stop talking about Carly Rae Jepsen now. But genuinely, unironically, her songs are actually quite good for some of them. Admittedly, Call Me Maybe, not that keen on, but some other songs are quite good. Her newest single, not even half bad. It's a decent track. You know, not my usual sort of music, but I actually have stuff written down for this podcast, and music is comes in. So let's talk about it. First, I'm going to talk about the new Bring Me the Horizon album, Ammo. What do you guys think of it? I don't know what I think of it. That's my problem. It's like I don't know if I enjoy it or not. Because it's very different to the Bring Me the Horizon that, like, is my favourite. Because I would say my favourite Bring Me album is There Is a Hell. Really fun album to listen to from time to time. Really good, just solid metalcore album. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's Bring Me the Horizon, it's shit. Because, they got popular and stuff. But I still think There Is a Hell is a good album. It's like, I think all their albums have their merits. And I think they're all good albums in their own way. All very different albums. And, like, no two of their albums were the same genre, because you started off with Count Your Blessings. I'm not including EPs in this, just to clarify, but you started off with Count Your Blessings, very much a deathcore album, which was fine. I enjoy it. I like the album. I like deathcore. Definitely not my favorite deathcore. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn my phone to silent before starting this. There we go, it sounds like. But yeah, Count Your Blessings, definitely more of a deathcore album. As I said, not my favorite deathcore album. There's other albums I prefer, like I'm a fan of Thy Art Is Murder, so like their stuff probably better in terms of deathcore for my personal tastes. But then you move on to Suicide Season, which is kind of like a blend of metalcore and deathcore, and I quite like that. I like those two genres, and I think they did a good blend of them, because like you can definitely hear the deathcore elements in it, but you can also really hear the metalcore elements in it. And I think that's enjoyable. I think Suicide Season's a good album. Then we get to There Is a Hell, which is just a straight up metalcore album, which I really liked. I think there's so many solid tracks on There Is a Hell. I've listened to that album cover to cover a bunch of times, and it just, all the way through, there's not many reprieves from good music, if you're into that style at least. Like, if you're into the sort of style of metalcore that There Is a Hell is, I know it's just saying if you like this album, you like this album, but like it's a very much a specific style of metalcore. It's not like, you can listen to some metalcore and it sounds completely different. Like you listen to, I can't think of a good example of something that sounds completely different, but like you take like There Is a Hell, which is a metalcore album, and then you take like a Bless the Fool album. Sound different, both the same subgenre, but like different styles of it. And I like the style of There Is a Hell. Favorite Bring Me album for sure, that one. I've listened to it a bunch of times. I own it on CD. I own, other than Ammo and Count Your Blessings, I own all the Bring Me albums on CD. Even their EP, this is what the Edge of Seat was made for. I don't own their like collection CD from whatever that was. It was like, I don't even know what it was. It was just kind of like a compilation of their best-selling tracks to that point. And I haven't bothered buying it. I see no point in it, you know. If I'm planning to get the other two, so Ammo and Count Your Blessings on CD at some point, but you know, if I get them, then what would be the point in me getting a compilation of songs that I already own? You know, like I've listened to it through, and it's what you'd expect. It's just like a compilation of the best of Bring Me from, you know, Count Your Blessings through to That's the Spirit, which I have nothing wrong with. I don't have anything against bands doing that, but it's just not something that interests me that much. Like, if a band wants to release a best of CD, then that's fine. But, you know, I just think the market for them is more just for people trying to get into the band. And that's probably what it was like, because, you know, it's kind of hard to know where to start with Bring Me, because like, a lot of people will start with Sempiternal and That's the Spirit because they just had the most commercial success. But like, I still think people should appreciate the older albums as well, and like appreciate previous lineups they've had, because Sempiternal and That's the Spirit have all been with the lineup of Ollie, of course, as a vocalist, Matt being the drummer and bassist, Lee being on guitar, and Jordan being on keyboards. Yeah, I don't know why I remember all their names. I just do. That like I was really into them at one point, and I think I still remember from then. But like before, they had Jonah and Curtis, I think the other guy's name was. I don't remember perfectly, but I want to say it was Jonah Weinhofen, who's currently in, or at least was, if not still in, I Killed the Prom Queen. And then Curtis, I want to say it was Curtis Ward, who kind of just like doesn't do anything anymore because he was like risking damage to himself or something. I don't remember. We haven't even got to talking about all the albums yet. We haven't even got to talking about Sempiternal, That's the Spirit, and then the main thing, Ammo. So like, Sempiternal I really like as an album. It's got some good tracks, and it's definitely gone for a less heavy metalcore vibe than There Is a Hell, but still I would class it as a metalcore album for the most part. Obviously there's some tracks on it which aren't so much metalcore tracks, but there are other tracks on it, like a lot of tracks on it do feel very metalcore. Like Shadow Moses is probably the most famous off that album. Well, maybe Sleepwalking, but I heard Shadow Moses first, I think. I was introduced to Bring Me like when that album came out, so I think the first Bring Me song I heard, I remember, is Go to Hell for Heaven's Sake. And I was like, I listened to that, I was like, this is pretty good. Then listened to Shadow Moses, and then Sleepwalking, and then just a bunch of stuff, and then eventually their entire discography. But like, I think that Sempiternal like did something different with adding like what Jordan does into the mix of a metalcore album. And I think it made for an interesting album, and a good album at that as well. Like, Sempiternal could have been something like experimental and different, but shit, very easily. But it wasn't. They really understood what they had to do to make that album be good, experimental, and like still like be commercially available for just general people that are kind of into heavier music to listen to, but like also please the heavier music crowd. And you're never gonna please everyone. And I'm sure there's a lot of people when Sempiternal came out, I was like, oh god, what is this shit? I want the deathcore back. And like, it's gonna happen. If you've done like a different genre before as a band, then there's always gonna be people that are gonna want it back if you've made it that big. Like, you know, there's always gonna be Bring Me fans who are like, oh, I wish they were deathcore again, and you know, like, it's not gonna happen. And it's like, there's gonna be Bring Me fans like, oh, I wish they were metalcore again instead of what they are now, and all that shit. But like I wouldn't say Bring Me sold out. Like there are some bands which I feel like they sold out. I mean, I know everyone references Fall Out Boy as a band that sold out, but I kind of feel like they did in a way. It didn't like Fall Out Boy's more pop oriented stuff. It just doesn't feel as genuine, you know? I don't know if that's just me being weird, but like I feel it just doesn't feel as much like Fall Out Boy as their older stuff, which is more like pop punk and stuff like that. And I feel like that's why people say they sold out, because it just didn't feel quite as genuine as, like, if you listen to like Mania, compare it to, oh god, what was the name of their albums? I have to look this up real quick. Fall Out Boy albums, because I cannot remember. Okay, like compare something like Mania from Under the Cork Tree. That was the album I was thinking of, was From Under the Cork Tree. Like, you look at the tracks on From Under the Cork Tree, and you got tracks like Dance Dance, Little Less 16 Candles, Sugar We Going Down, and that feels like a lot more genuine than like songs such as like Young and Menace, Hold Me Tight or Don't. Like I don't know, I just don't feel that the songs just seem as genuine to me. And like, I don't hate the album, but like I don't like it either, you know? Very short album as well, being only 35 minutes and 10 tracks, which is, I mean, I consider that a short album. Some people might not, but like you look at I mean, to be fair, From Under the Cork Tree is only 43 minutes. So, but like when I think of like an average length album, I think like 45 to 50 minutes. Below that, I'd say like the 40-minute, like if you hit 40 minutes, that's like just a little shy of average length, but still long enough. But I feel like anything like 35 and under just feels short as an album to me. And like anything 20 minutes or below, I just consider that an EP, honestly. That's not an album, mate, that's an EP. But that's just how I see it. It's just like, I judge albums, like not on whether I enjoy them, but I just like judge what an album is on its length. So like, as I say, something that's 20 minutes or under, I would think of that as an EP, not an album, when it could definitely be an album. I mean, there was that one time Earache Records did the shortest album ever, and that was 1.5 minutes, and it was a full album. But like, that was kind of more of a comedic thing, so I would still call that an album, but I'll call that a comedy album, even though it is literally less than like your average, like less than half of an average song's length. I'd still consider it like a comedic album, you know? But like, anyway, back to Bring Me. As I was saying, I talked about Sempiternal a bit. That's the Spirit was the album that followed Sempiternal, and I quite like That's the Spirit. Unpopular opinion, I know, but I think there was some interesting tracks on That's the Spirit. I mean, I don't remember the full track list. Let me load that up. I know you can hear me smacking away at my keyboard. You're welcome for that keyboard ASMR, which is like not ASMR at all. Like, I mean, everyone knows like Drown off That's the Spirit, because like that's such a big track for Bring Me. You know, like if you've heard of Bring Me the Horizon, you've listened to the song Drown, because we all have. Anyone that's a bit of a Bring Me the Horizon fan has listened to Drown, because it's like, it's one of their biggest songs, possibly even their biggest, I don't know. Like, I would consider it probably the most well-known and most versatile, I don't want to say versatile, that's the wrong word, but like, the most like well-known and the most, it's very much like a live track to hear. Like, you're gonna want to hear Drown live, because it's just that sort of track which you do want to hear live. Like other songs on it which are pretty good, like Follow You, I really enjoyed that song. I really liked the direction they went with Oh No. I thought it was so interesting, and they pulled it off quite well. Then you have heavier songs such as like Happy Song and True Friends, which are also good songs. You know, and then you got Throne, which is a pretty good song. Avalanche I quite like as a song. The only song I'm not so keen on the album was probably Run. Like, I don't dislike the song at all. It's just, I don't feel anything strongly about it. Maybe what you need as well. Like, I quite like What You Need, but like I don't have any strong feelings about it. And like with Run, I just don't have any strong feelings for like or dislike. It's just kind of, it's a song to me. Like it's not bad, it's not great. It's just a thing. It's just a song that they made and it's on that album. But now we get to, now once we're done with that, done talking about That's the Spirit, we get to talk about Ammo. Hooray! And their new album Ammo, which is a fucking weird one to say the least, but not necessarily in a bad way. Like, I'm very confused about how I feel about this album. Like, first listen, hated it, thought it was shit. Second listen, I was like, you know what, I was being too critical. This isn't shit. It's not great, but not shit. Third listen, I was like, actually, I quite like this. Fourth listen, I was like, yo, I fucking love this album. This album's great. Fifth listen, I was like, now I'm back to not really loving it, but also like quite liking it, not loving it. And like the more I listen to it, like I don't think I've had the same opinion of it for 2 different listens, and I've listened to it probably a good 7 or 8 times now just to see how I feel about it, and I don't know how I feel about it. That's the problem. But like every time I listen to it, I get a different feeling. Like one listen I'll love it, one listen I'll hate it, one listen I'll be confused, one listen I'll just get it. I don't know. It's such a strange album, and it like, I think a lot of this, like, it has some standout tracks, but some of the songs are just like a bit whatever. It's like the song Fresh Bruises. Cannot think of it off the top of my head. Like, I apologize if you feel something. Fresh Bruises, and I don't know what to say. And somewhat Why You Gotta Kick Me When I'm Down. Like, I can't hear those songs in my head. Like, normally, like, when I think of a song, I can hear it in my head. Like, if I were to think of Mantra, I can hear that in my head as I think about it. Whereas with those songs, which I just listed, I just can't hear them in my head. And, like, I feel like it felt like those songs were almost... Like, it felt like there was a bit too much filler on the album. Like, at first I thought, oh, wow, ouch, what a filler song. But I actually think that's one of my favourite songs off the album now. I think my mind has changed on that, because it's just interesting and something different. Like, it's a style of music that I enjoy. Ouch, like the song Ouch, it's kind of like a different sort of thing, and I quite like that. Like, Mantra was a pretty good song. I really like Grimes' performance on Nihilist Blues, and just generally the style of music that was quite interesting. Wonderful Life was quite a good track. Ouch, as I said, I liked. Medicine's a good like pop rock track, but like heavier on the pop side. Same with Mother Tongue. Heavy Metal, like, at first I thought was just kind of a cringy, like, oh, please like us still, even though we're different. Look at us, we're slagging off people that don't like us, like us. Nah. But then I was like, you know what? It's not just, like, caring too much, you know? It came off to me for first listeners, like, they care too much about what people think, and they're like, oh, we want everyone to like us, and we're just going to try and be cool and different by slagging off people that don't like us anymore. But then I listened to it a few more times, and I was like, you know what? It's sort of sarcastic more than anything. Like, the whole theme of the song isn't serious. Like, at first I took it at face value as that was a serious song, and they genuinely feel that way. But then, like, I listened to it a couple more times, so I'm like, wait, they're being really fucking sarcastic. Like, this whole song is drenched in sarcasm, and then I realised, like, actually that's quite funny and quite witty. And plus that breakdown, that like 4-second breakdown at the end, really damn good. If we can get like a whole album from any good band of breakdowns like that, I'll be happy. I mean, there are albums with a lot of good breakdowns on them already. Like, I know After the Burial have some really good breakdowns in their albums. Like, they even mentioned Black Dahlia Murder and the song Heavy Metal. They have some good albums, you know. There's a lot of bands. That's 2, but there's so many more I could sit here and list, but I just can't be bothered. But yeah, no, like, I'm very confused about it. I actually wrote, like, from my first listen, I wrote a review of it. If I can open that, hold on a second, I have it saved, somewhere. Just need to go to my Google Docs, which I actually have one open already, but I need to keep that open because that's, like, the stuff I'm going to talk about. If I don't have the stuff I'm going to talk about, then I'll just be lost, and... You know, I stop and stutter enough already. But like, if I didn't have my notes, I would be gone. Yeah, yeah, I'm just like reading through my review real quick, like just like skimming through it, and like I think the main complaint I had in this review, which I still feel is true, is that they really didn't utilize the full band's potential on a lot of the songs. It's like you take the song "Ouch." I don't think like there was I couldn't like properly hear any distinct bass or guitar on that song. And like Nihilist Blues, great example. The drums just sound like they were, a drum machine or like digital drum set or whatever. Because like I don't think they did that with a real drum kit. Because it just you just don't with that sort of like drumming style. I mean, I'm not a music producer and I know next to nothing about music production, but you just like don't use actual drum kits for that sort of drumming. So like, and then plus there's like no guitar and bass on that either. And I feel like a theme of Bring Me the Horizon is it's very much like focused around Ollie Sykes a lot, and I don't dislike that because I kind of like his singing style. I'm sorry, I just threw up in the back of my mouth. That was terrible. Oh god. Sorry, yeah, no, I started recording this as I'm like not feeling great, which is never a good thing to do. But you know what, it's fine. I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, I feel like Bring Me's a lot. It feels a lot like Ollie Sykes is the main focal point of it. And I know like often vocalists are the main focal point of a band, but like I feel like he tries. I don't want to diss him because I'm not trying to like diss him. I think this is just. I'm sorry, I accidentally hit my mic there. I know you can hear that because I just saw the audio levels get all fucked up while I was speaking. But I feel like with some bands they can be very like vocal driven, but not be all about the vocalist. Like a good band which is like quite heavily vocal driven, but isn't all about the vocalist is Emarosa. I went to see them live recently. It was so much fun. I met Bradley, who's the singer, and Bobby, the bassist, and they're great. They're such nice guys, and I'm so happy. Also, sometime soon, I don't know like when this thing is going out, but like on the 10th of February, I'm going down to Brighton to see Polyphia again, and I'm seeing Covet in support, and I'm so excited. I just need to let you guys know that I'm excited about that. But yeah, as I was saying, like I think bands can be vocally driven and not feel like the vocalist is stealing the spotlight, and I just don't see that with Bring Me. I think they don't try and make it all about Ollie. I'm sorry, I'm clicking my fingers here, which you can probably hear, but like I don't think they deliberately try and make it all about Ollie. I think it's just like a bit unintentional, and it just happens because that's just the way they make music is kind of like based around him. I mean, it works and they're doing well with it, but I would like to see more from the full band. But I think that it's good. I think the album. I don't know what I want to rate it out of 10 because at first I was rating it like a 3 or a 4, then I was rating it like a 5 or a 6, then an 8, then back to about a 5 or a 6. It's just I can't think of one specific rating that I want to give the album out of 10 because like I always rate my albums I listen to out of 10. Like that's my unit of like rating is something out of 10, and I just don't know what to give this album, so I'll give that a question mark out of 10. Okay, so the next topic, now we've talked about Ammo, is more music, which is like the day after I'm recording this, Emarosa's new album is going to be coming out, and actually, as I speak, it might already be out. Let me check. I think it is. Yes, it is already out. I haven't been able to give it a listen yet. It's a 36-minute long album, 11 tracks. I've heard all the singles, so I've heard Given Up, Don't Cry, Cautious, Get Back Up. But tracks 5 through 11 I've heard none of yet, and I'm excited to listen to that when I get the chance. Really like the artwork for it. Like the album art is great. I've been loving the album art of the singles. Like, just like check out Cautious is probably my favourite for the album art, but like that's the art style they're going with. I really like that. And like I loved Emarosa's previous album in 131, or 131. I don't know. I don't know like what's the right way to say it. It's like for the longest time I didn't know I didn't know if it was Blink 182, Blink 182, Blink 182. I know it's the last one that is Blink 182, but like for a while because I had never heard it said, I didn't know how to say it, so I was like saying it all different kinds of ways until like I eventually saw a member of Blink 182 say it was Blink 182, and I'm like, well, they say that, but I don't think I've heard anyone in Emarosa say how to pronounce their album, whether it's 131, 131, 131. I don't know, but that album, great album. I love it. It's got a lot of good tracks on it, and I hope that I'm gonna enjoy Peach Club just as much. I probably will. I've loved the singles. Seeing them play the singles live was so much fun. Seeing them playing live was so much fun. One of the coolest fucking things that they did was in the middle of a song, Bradley, the vocalist, picked up Bobby, who's the bassist, and just flipped him over while he was playing bass. I'm like, what the fuck? Just fully 360 twisted this guy while he was playing bass. I'm like, that's fucking sick. What the hell? It was great. It was, is that quite a small venue in London that I went to? Really nice place, a venue in Soho called Borderline. I think it's a decently well-known venue. I'm not really sure, but strangest thing was they were IDing everyone on the door, which was fine because I always carry my ID around with me. But it's like the first time I've seen that happen. I mean, I'm guessing they have perfectly good reason to do that, and that I mean, I'm sure they're all. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I mean, I'm fine with it, and I get why they're doing it because they just need to like make sure people that are under 18 can't, go to the bar and buy a drink because that's literally illegal. But it's just strange they did it on the door, not at the bar, which a lot of other venues do. You have to show your ID at the bar instead of showing it on the door. Strange, but it worked. Good enough system. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed their show, and then, as I said, I had a chat to Bradley and I had a chat to Bobby afterwards, because Bradley was just stood around taking pictures, having a chat with people, so I talked to him, and then Bobby came walking by, and he was about to walk off, but I was like, you know what, I want to say hi to this guy, so I just tapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, sorry for distracting you, dude, but then just had a chat with him. Super nice dude, was so okay, he was just so cool with me, just stopping him to have a chat when he was about to walk off and do something. And he did have to excuse himself after a little bit, like, yeah, I've got stuff to do. I'm like, yeah, no, fair enough, thanks for, actually stopping by and chatting with me. And I like it when bands do this. I also chatted to the guys from the band Sun Arcana as well. I mainly chatted to their vocalist because Sun Arcana was supporting. Good band as well. Hadn't heard of them before that gig. Really enjoyed them. Got my ticket signed by all of the members now, which is super cool. I try and get my ticket signed often when I'm at shows, just because it's something cool to have, and it's, I like it. I have Invent Anime, Polyphia, Sun Arcana. I can't think if I have any others now. I think that might be it. I know I have those three. Do I have any others? Let me grab my ticket box real quick, because I have it to hand, I'm pretty sure. I do have it to hand. I have a little metal tin with all my tickets in, so okay. That's the newest one, that's Sun Arcana. That's not got any signatures on it. 1,000 Below as well, that's one. Then that's one I got Invent Anime, then that's Polyphia. And then before that, I don't have any signed tickets. So yeah, Polyphia, Invent Anime, 1,000 Below, and Sun Arcana are all bands that I've had one or more members sign my ticket for, which is pretty cool. So, I just keep them. I keep them in a little box. I keep my gig tickets in a box, just because it's a cool thing to have, Is that okay? Okay, yeah, it's balanced. I didn't want to put it back and then it just all end up falling on the floor, because I just wouldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered to clean that and tidy that up. So I was making sure it was all balanced before I put it back. But yeah, no, that's just a fun thing to do. I don't even know how I got on this tangent, but it's so totally interesting, dude. See what I did there? I said the name of this thing in the thing. Yeah, you know what? That was great. Such a good I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. But that was just good, okay? Just accept that was cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to giving the new Emarosa album a listen when I can. I just accidentally opened Windows Media Player. I don't know how I did that. I keep doing it. Why are you not like... I know what I'm doing, because I'm trying to do Alt-Shift-5 to cross my thing off to say that I've talked about it on my Google Docs. I realized I wasn't doing Alt-Shift-5, I was doing Windows-Shift-5. So like that was opening up the fifth thing on my taskbar, which is Windows Media Player. Yes, I still use Windows Media Player. It's good, alright. It's better than like Groove Music, whatever the fuck their new thing is called. Fuck that, dude. Media Player all the way, my guy. Just better. Just is a better thing. But like, I've been like recently I've been listening to like some stuff, like from bands I've kind of listened to but not really properly gotten into. And like the one that stuck out to me was I'm really getting into like A Lot Like Birds now, and I know I'm getting into them at the wrong time because they're no longer together as a band. They've ended officially, A Lot Like Birds, but like their final album was just a really good album to leave on. I really enjoyed that album, and even their previous albums are great. And I'm like, I've heard of them before because of like when I was getting into Dance Gavin Dance, I was like listening to all the stuff that they'd done. So I was like listening to Tides of Man for Tillian. I was listening to like Slaves for Johnny Craig. Not that much because I don't like that band very much. Also, why would they steal the name of an already existing band? They're a great band. And when I say that, like Slaves, the UK band, the two-piece band, I love that band. They're great. Their like album Are You Satisfied? Great album. Their newest album, I think that's a really good album. I haven't actually listened to that in a long time, but I haven't listened to it since like shortly after it came out. But yeah, why would they use the same name? Like, what the fuck, Johnny Craig? But then I was also listening to like Kurt Travis and stuff he's done, so I was listening to his solo stuff, which is good. Really like Kurt Travis' solo stuff. His album, I want to say it was Everything Is Beautiful, I think is the name of the album. But I know that's the name of one of the tracks on it, but I think that's like the title track of the album. Really like that album. Then, of course, then he did his time with A Lot Like Birds, which is where I heard about them. I was like, yo, I'll check this out. I'll check out what Kurt did in this band. I really like Kurt era A Lot Like Birds. I also like post-Kurt era A Lot Like Birds. I just like the band in general. They've just done a lot of interesting, cool things, and they've made multiple cool albums that I enjoy. So that's fun. Yeah, but I only got like properly listened to them recently. So like, I'm a bit late to the party, but what are you gonna do about it, man? I just hiccuped and I feel it really hard in my chest. That's strange. Shouldn't be happening. Is that gonna stop me from doing this? No, I'm gonna keep going because I have more stuff to talk about. I can cross my next thing off the list there, which is, getting through a lot of ideas here. I'm getting through some stuff. But like, talking of music, one thing I'm listening to as I record this, but I've been listening to again recently, is the Samurai Champloo soundtrack. Dude, it's so good. I love it so much. Like, just all the songs, like the whole sort of lo-fi hip-hop style vibe on it, so good. When did Samurai Champloo come out? I actually don't know. Samurai Champloo, let's see. Does it give me a year that it came out? You're just not gonna give me a year. 2004 to 2005 it aired. And it's just such a good show. Like, I initially got interested in the show because of actually listening to the soundtrack. Like, I'd heard about the soundtrack and like I listened to the soundtrack. I was like, yo, this is really cool. I want to see the show that goes along with this. And I watched it and I absolutely love it. It's so good. Like, if you've not watched Samurai Champloo, I really do recommend it. I wouldn't say it's like a must watch anime, but like if you're like an anime fan, definitely watch it. But like if you're not much of an anime person, I would still recommend it highly. But I would say, like, if you're like one of the people that's only gonna like watch like one or two anime series ever, then I would put something like Cowboy Bebop and Neon Genesis Evangelion above Samurai Champloo, but only a little bit. And like, I didn't realize how big of a following Samurai Champloo had for like the longest time. Like, even while I was watching it, I didn't realize how big of a following it had. And then like I started to see stuff online about like, and like find people like the community that talks about it and stuff, and I was like, oh, this show's big, man. Like, this is a major show, and I just didn't realize for the longest time. You know, I actually met a friend because of Samurai Champloo. I was at Comic-Con one time wearing a Samurai Champloo shirt. Someone approached me and was like, yo, I love that anime. I'm like, yo, me too. And then we became friends over our shared love of Samurai Champloo, because like, at the time, I was partway through watching it, and so were they, actually, coincidentally. I don't even know if they finished it. I would ask them. I texted them like a week ago, still haven't replied to me. A little bit annoyed, but you know, I'll carry on. I can carry on in life throughout that. But yeah, like, it's just, I just enjoy it as a show. I thought Samurai Champloo was great, and the soundtrack made me watch it, because I was like, wow, this soundtrack's so cool. I'd love to see the anime that goes alongside this. Did see the anime that goes alongside it. Love it. You know, it's just good. I highly recommend, like, if you're an anime fan, definitely watch Samurai Champloo. It's so good. Like, at least I think it is, and I mean, it's pretty highly rated. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like in the like top 5 anime of all time, but I wouldn't say it's very far off. Like, obviously in the top anime of all time, you gotta have someone like Cowboy Bebop, like Neon Genesis Evangelion, as I mentioned earlier. Like, those have got to be really high up the list for like top rated anime of all time, and for good reason. Like, I've watched some of Cowboy Bebop. I haven't watched Neon Genesis Evangelion, but I've watched some of Cowboy Bebop, and it's great. I love it. I was watching it on Netflix, but Netflix removed it, so fuck you, Netflix UK, for removing Cowboy Bebop. I was having so much fun watching it, and then they removed it. So now I have to, you know, find it elsewhere. Actually, can I watch all the episodes on Crunchyroll? Let me see. Am I available to watch all the episodes on Crunchyroll, even though I don't have a subscription? Cowboy Bebop. Can I watch all the episodes? Because if I can, I'm doing that. I can! Oh, nice. Cool. Now I know what to do. Because I was like a few episodes through it, and then they took it off Netflix, but now I can watch it. And I need to start watching the newest season of Mob Psycho 100. Season 2, I need to watch it because it looks so good. I loved season 1 of Mob Psycho 100. It's such a good show. So like, I need to start watching season 2. There's already been 5 episodes. And while I'm at it, I need to watch the newest season of Attack on Titan as well. Haven't seen that yet. There's so many shows I haven't seen. I mean, I'm just looking at Crunchyroll's ratings for Cowboy Bebop. 164 people have rated it. 4 people gave it a 3-star. 4 people gave it a 4-star. 156 people gave it 5 out of 5. If that doesn't say everything about it, then I don't know what does. I want to see, is Neon Genesis Evangelion? No. It's not on Crunchyroll. If it was, I would see what people have rated that, just because I know that's a wildly popular one as well, but people haven't rated that on Crunchyroll because they can't, because it's not on Crunchyroll. But that's fine. But yeah, like, there's a lot of anime I need to watch, and like, I'm hoping for another season of Boku no Hero to come out sometime soon. I don't know, like, I don't know when they said it's gonna come out. Hold up. My Hero season 4 it would be, right? Yeah, is it gonna be season 4? Spring 2019, that's not even far away, holy shit! Oh my god, I remember watching the trailers and stuff for it, but I didn't know like when it was coming out. Oh, that's so good! Oh, that's so good. Oh, okay, I'm excited. It's 2019. That's so good. We get more freaking Boku no Hero this year. I'm so excited for that. 2019, it's gonna be happening. Ah, that's great. That's like made this year something like that's giving me something to look forward to this year. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to this year. Northland are gonna be releasing another album this year. So excited for that. Slipknot are gonna be releasing another album this year. Excited for that. More Boku no Hero. Excited for that. We're getting Avengers Endgame. Excited for that. Before we're gonna get a bunch more good films between there. I'm just excited for movies, music, and TV, man. And that's like all I get excited about anymore, which is kind of sad, but it's what I'm passionate about, you know, which is why I've been talking about that stuff for over 40 minutes now. Because I'm just interested in it and I'm passionate about it. But yeah, but with the topic of Cowboy Bebop, we have to discuss the shameful thing that's happening, and it's the live action remake that's in the works. I'm not excited for it. I don't want to watch it because live action anime remakes are never good. I challenge you to name one live action anime remake that was actually good. You can't because they're all shit. I haven't ever seen a live action anime remake that's any good. I mean, if we're gonna talk about live action anime remakes that are so shit, we've got to talk about Dragon Ball Evolution. And there's one thing I love about Dragon Ball Evolution, and it's the story that comes following everyone realizing how shit that movie was. So basically, the guy that originally created Dragon Ball, he said he was just like retiring and giving up, and then like before Dragon Ball Evolution was released, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm done. I've got no more Dragon Ball in me. Like, it's been a good run, but I'm out. I'm stopping Dragon Ball, officially retiring from Dragon Ball. Then Evolution came out. It was fucking dreadful. It was a shit film, and it was so shit that it pissed off that guy so much that he came out of retirement just to make Dragon Ball Super to rectify how shit it was. 'Cause he's like, nah, fuck you. We're not leaving the Dragon Ball universe on something that shit. And that's the reason Dragon Ball Super got made. I just think that's a great story. Shout out to Fact Fiend for teaching me that story. My man's Carl Smallwood. You know, if you've not seen the Fact Fiend YouTube channel, it's greatly entertaining. Like, you know, a guy literally called Carl Smallwood, genuinely his name. I know Smallwood sounds like it could be, you know, a joke, a penis joke, like, haha, Carl Small Penis. He's had that joke a million times, I'm sure. But, you know, it's a great channel to watch. It's so much fun, because just the banter that Carl and his editor Brad have together, great. If you don't watch it, give it a shot. It's quite fun. I first found it just, like, when I was sat doing an assignment over summer, because I had to retake one of my assignments over summer because I didn't actually do anything for it initially. And like, I was just scrolling through YouTube, you know, just finding stuff to watch, living back the glory days of the World Cup when we thought it was coming home. You know, watching that Kieran Trippier free kick over and over. You know, watching Eric Dyer score that penalty over and over, just all stuff like that, you know, singing It's Coming Home through tears. Because we all did, you know. Anyone that's English and liked football now wants to cry every time they hear It's Coming Home, because in 2018 it didn't come home, unfortunately. We would have loved it to. I don't think we really believed it was going to, but we would all want it to. But anyway, as I was saying, like, I was just like doing an assignment there, and I saw their video, like, Guitar Hero put songs in the game intentionally for you to hear them. I was like, that seems interesting, I'd like to know about that. And then I was like, huh, that was a cool video when I finished watching it, really interesting. And I saw something else which piqued my interest, and then something else, and now I just watch all their videos. I think I've already watched most of the videos that channel has up, which is great, because it's so much fun. And like, I often just use those facts in casual conversation, because they're just interesting facts, you know? It's just a strange, interesting fact that most people wouldn't know. And it's just a fun thing to bring up in conversation, so shout out to that channel. Where was I with this? Oh yeah, live action anime remakes. the Cowboy Bebop one that's coming out, not looking forward to it. I'm guessing just a few seconds ago you did hear me smack myself in the finger with my my Wacom pen. Didn't mean to, but I do a lot of hand movements while I'm talking, and I just accidentally thwacked my fingernail. So like, I'm holding it in my left hand, thwacked the nail of my right index finger with it. Still kind of hurts, actually. Like, that hurt, and it's still hurting a little bit, but that's fine. Not enough to stop me doing this shit, you know? But yeah, no, the Cowboy Bebop remake, I'm not looking forward to it because it's live action with something that shouldn't be. Like, one of the beautiful things about anime is it can be so innovative with the fact it's not constrained by reality. It's like you look at something like Boku no Hero. Wow, I just said that terribly, but like Boku no Hero. You look at that, and like, what makes it so good? Like, if you were to try and do that just by like using live action characters and CG, would look shit compared to how it does in anime. Like, if you watch the fight between Deku and Todoroki, that is one of the most beautifully animated fight scenes, and there is no possible way you could get something to look that good without it being just like 2D animation. It's the only way that like, you could even do it with like fully 3D animation, wouldn't look near as good. The fact that it was 2D animation, it's just so good. And like, the problem is with like, because anime is all 2D animation, that's the nature of it. Well, I say all, but there has been some anime that's incorporated 3D. It was like, I only watched a few episodes of this just to see the incorporation of 3D, but Tales of Zestria, that had some 3D in it, which was interesting. And like, I remember watching it with a friend who was like also was on the same animation course as me in college, but now goes to a different uni to me. My man Louis, it's Skillion TL on Twitch. I think that's his Twitch link. But yeah, check out my man's when he's streaming. It's great. I love him. It's my son right there. Much love to my son. Yeah, no, me and him watched a few episodes together at one point, and it was just interesting to see how 3D was mixed. And it kind of worked because it was just background elements, but you take it to be anything, like, you take the concept of an anime and something that's already been an anime, and you put like live action or 3D. I mean, you put 3D into anything that's not just background elements, and it looks weird, off, just doesn't feel right. You take live action and try and blend it with anime, does not work at all. Don't try it. I've seen people like talk about it, but I've never seen it like actually properly done. But like, when you take something that's already an anime and then make it live action, it just doesn't work. I mean, I think obviously Dragon Ball Evolution is the worst example, but another horrendously bad example was the Netflix Death Note movie. God, that movie was shit. The one like redeeming quality was probably Willem Dafoe, and it's fucking Willem Dafoe. Obviously he's a redeeming quality because, you know, it's Willem Dafoe. He's great. You know, a fun fact about Willem Dafoe is a director was once quoted as saying he has a distractingly large penis. Like, it is just commonly known fact that Willem Dafoe has a massive schlong. And like, they have to get a man with a smaller penis in to do sex scenes where it's Willem Dafoe, because people would be taken out of the moment, just distracted about how gargantuan that man's dick is. And honestly, if you've got a reputation for anything, that is one of the coolest fucking things to have a reputation for. You know, like, some actors have a reputation for, you know, being a pain in the ass to work with. Some actors have a reputation for being so easy to work with. Some have a reputation for getting really into characters. And there's just Willem Dafoe, who has a reputation for having a huge dick. Like, he is just, he wins, you know? Like, no actor has the same level of just, like, notoriety of having such a big penis as Willem Dafoe. And he just wins with that. Like, it's just a win. You know, if he can, he's got that. He just does win everything there. He wins Hollywood, man. He wins movies and actors and in general, because he just does, you know? Anyway, back to the shit. I did hit my desk again there, and I know you could hear it on the mic because I could see it being picked up. I'm sorry. I'll try and stop doing that, but it's always accidental. But yeah, back to the live action Death Note movie. Shit. If you want to know my full opinion on it, then check out the review I did on my channel, youtube.com/c/electrify with 3 Ys. Shameless self-plug. You know I had to. You know I was going to plug myself at some point in this. Because this is probably going to go up on, like, not just YouTube, but probably, like, SoundCloud maybe? I don't know. Something that, like, supports podcasts. I guess SoundCloud does podcasts, and that was just the first thing that came to mind. I'll probably upload it on there. I'll probably just, like, try and spread it around, because it's something I'm interested in. I like talking about shit that interests me. And, you know, that's, like, what a lot of people do on podcasts. They talk about shit that interests them. But yeah, as I was saying, live action Death Note Netflix film, the acting on that was just not good. Like, the dude that played Light, I don't know if it was the guy acting that or the script. I think it was a bit of both, but just seemed like a fucking idiot. And, like, when you think about Light from the anime, that dude is mad smart. Like, he is getting top grades in everything. Like, the dude is mad smart. But Light Turner, as he was called, I hate that they, like, whitewashed the cast. I mean, I don't really normally care about whitewashing, and that, like, I don't give a shit, but it's like, if they just used, like, the original names, I wouldn't have given a shit. But it's because they just Americanized the names and everything, and it just made it so American, which I didn't like. Because, you know, as much as I do have a soft spot for America, because there's some great American things, there's some great shows and movies based in America, just don't make everything about yourself, America, you know? Like, the whole point of Death Note was it was set in Japan, and, like, one of the whole big things about Kira as being the name was, you know, that just made sense to them. It's just like, they shouldn't have made it American. And, like, I'm sure Netflix had a big enough budget to, you know, not make it a completely American cast. Or maybe there was, like, some people from other Western countries, but, like, it was, like, a fully American/European cast, probably. I don't even know if there was any Europeans in it. I don't remember. It was probably all Americans. But, like, you know what? Just get an Asian cast in, because, you know, the characters are Asian in the actual anime and the manga, and, like, in the original source material, the characters in it are Asian, so, like, you know, they live in Japan, and that's, like, where they live. Like, just make them Asian, you know? You can cast Asian people. Some Asian people are fucking phenomenal actors, you know? Like, you look at the precision. I mean, I know, like, some movies by like, some of the martial arts actors aren't great. Like, you know, like, when you think about phenomenal movies, something like Jackie Chan in Rush Hour doesn't come up. But you see the choreography on the fights that he does in some of his other movies, which are, like, very much about the martial arts, and it is incredible. And even, like, the choreography on his martial arts in stuff like Rush Hour is nothing to dismiss. Like, the choreography on that is crazy. Well, the actual source material of the movie isn't, you know, isn't something phenomenal. It's not bad. I'm not saying I dislike the Rush Hour movies. I'm just saying they're not spectacular, innovative movies. But, like, there's a lot of good Asian actors and actresses out there, so, like, you could cast them. It would work. That movie would have still worked. The Death Note Netflix movie would have still fucking worked if it was set in Asia and the cast was Asian people. You know? It could have changed literally nothing other than the fact it, like, un-Americanize it and have an Asian cast, and it would still work. I mean, it may not be the best movie because I just don't think it was written very well. I just think the writing on that movie was average. And it was a really stupid plot point where, like, Light sees a pretty girl and then he's like, oh wow, I barely know this girl. I'm gonna tell her I can kill people with a book. And then, like, what? Why? Why would you do such a thing? It doesn't make sense. You know? I'm all for, like, you know, trying to impress attractive women, you know? A lot of people do it. I get it. Just don't do it the way frickin' Light Turner did. He was a stupid character, Light Turner. He wasn't like the Light from the manga and anime. He wasn't like an American version of Light Yagami. He was just a fucking idiot with the same name and the same fucking book. Except when I say same name, only first name. He was just a fucking idiot with the same book. You know, it wasn't the same character. It annoys me, that film, because it could have been something good. Although I think like something like Death Note is one of those movies that could like, to make a movie out of the anime, is one of those movies that could translate well into live action, but it didn't, and that sucks. Like, I mean, the deaths in it, other than like the one where the guys, I think I want to say it was like the police officer agents or whatever, where they like all walk up to the top of a building and walk off the edge in unison. That was a really good shot. Like, everything about that scene was just really good. It was well edited. The music was good. The cinematography was good. It was just visually appealing. It was all just good, that scene. I'm like, if the whole movie was like on that level, the movie would have been fantastic and I would love it. But no, they had to make the movie shit. Like, okay, I know, like, it's been out a long time, but spoiler warning, I should have said that earlier. But yeah, like, if you haven't seen it, then it's been long enough that you're not immune to spoilers now. Like, come on. It's been out since, like, what, 2017 sometime? Hold up, let me find out when it came out. Netflix Death Note. It came out in 2017, in July 2017. We're now in February 2019. Like, if you haven't seen it by now, then honestly, you can't get angry at spoilers, because it's just been too freaking long to get annoyed at spoilers. But yeah, like, the scene, the Ferris wheel scene, like the main ending climax of the movie, that death scene, kind of shit, really, wasn't it? Like, the music they used in that scene killed the moment. And I thought, like, when I first watched that scene, because of the music playing, I thought that scene was a joke. Because the music was just so ridiculous, I thought, oh, this has got to be a joke. No, that scene was fully serious. Like, how are you going to tell me that scene was fully serious, man? Like, I couldn't take it seriously with that fucking music choice. And just, like, the unnecessary overuse of slow motion. Like, I get using it a bit, but come on. It was just a bad scene. It was just all around, that Ferris wheel scene was just crap. And just that whole movie sucked, you know? And we've come into the end of that, because that's what I want to talk about for live action anime remakes, finishing off about Death Note. That is me coming pretty much to the end. I have one more topic to talk about, which I'm going to try and make this podcast around an hour long. It's going to go a few minutes over when talking about this. But that's the new game Apex Legends. It's the new Battle Royale game from the dudes that make Titanfall. I can't remember the company's name off the top of my head, which is bad. I should have done my research to know the company's name before I started recording this, but I don't care to play the game. I know, like, it's the big thing now. And one thing I think is really fucking stupid about it, which I actually saw, like, there's a few things I think are stupid about it, but it's not with the game itself, it's with the community. And it's like, first of all, is the people playing it just to get popularity on, like, Twitch and YouTube, when really they're not actually enjoying the game. Because you can tell there are some people who are playing it that aren't really enjoying it, but are just playing it because it's what's big right now. Like those people that were playing Fortnite when really they didn't actually enjoy it that much, and it was just playing it because it was big. I mean, I used to play Fortnite a bit, then I realised, like, wait, I don't enjoy this game. Haven't played it since. So, you know, that's my Fortnite story. I thought I would give it a try when it was getting big, just to see what it was all about. Played it for a little bit, realised, wait, I don't enjoy this. Completely stopped playing it. And I haven't touched it in months. I don't plan on going back to it. But the thing with Apex Legends is, like, people are terming it the Fortnite killer. But remember a few months ago when everyone was like, oh yeah, Blackout's going to kill Fortnite. And what's Blackout doing now? Not much. Let's go on. I'm going to go onto Twitch right now just to prove a point. Twitch.tv, and let's see what games have the most viewers. So browse Apex Legend, 220k, Fortnite 117k, and then Blackout. I mean Black Ops 4, 13k viewers. And like, is there one thing specially for Blackout or not? I don't know if there is. I mean, if there's like a Twitch section especially for Blackout, then I can't find it. But like, even just doing the whole of Black Ops 4, you know, which had Blackout in it, which was deemed the Fortnite killer. Fortnite has over 100,000 more viewers as it stands right now than the entirety of Black Ops 4. And I feel like soon enough, Apex Legends is going to get that way. Where, like, people are like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a thing that overtakes Fortnite, and then it's just not. It's going to die down within a few months, and then people are going to have forgotten about it. I mean, like, that's just how it is. That's how it happens, you know? Like, I just can't be bothered with people saying, yeah, this game's the next, it's going to kill Fortnite, it's going to kill Fortnite, because it's not. Nothing is going to kill Fortnite at this point, alright? Other than time. And unless they, like Epic Games, do really, really shit updates. But I don't think they will, because they know what they're doing. And I think, like, people trying to say, yeah, this game's going to kill Fortnite, they're just all delusional, because no game that's going to come out is going to kill Fortnite. It's just not going to happen. You can't kill Fortnite because, like, people are still going to be playing it. And, like, the thing is with Fortnite, it has such a young player base with, like, a lot of kids playing it. And you're just not going to be able to kill that with a game like Apex Legends or Blackout. So, you know, it's just stupid people saying, yeah, Apex Legends is going to kill Fortnite, because it's just not. It's not going to happen. But that will do it for Apex Legends for now. If I do play it, then in the next episode of this, I'll mention it, or I'll forget to probably. But yes, I'm coming to the last song on the Samurai Champloo soundtrack, and I'm coming to the end of this first episode of So Totally Interesting, dude. So if you liked it, then do feel free to tell me. I have had a lot of fun recording it, even though I've been dying partly. Like, I really need some water after this. I drank some water right before this. I haven't had any for over an hour of talking. I need sleep as well. I'm very tired. But you know what? Sacrificing both those things for making this was a worthy sacrifice, because I've had a lot of fun. But that is the end of episode 1 of So Totally Interesting, dude. Thank you for listening. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, like the video, all that cool stuff. If you're listening on SoundCloud, drop it a like, follow my SoundCloud, or what if this even is on SoundCloud or not, I don't know. If you're on something that's not YouTube, check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/electrify, with 3 Ys. You know, that's all I have to say, so thanks for listening again, and I will catch you all in the next episode. Peace.